Do the Boston Bruins need to make a trade? Now, after last night, where they demolished the Vancouver Canucks 4-0.
Hill gave it away to Charlie Coyle, puts one in front, and they score on the rebound. Brad Marchand trying to get away from Pedersen. He's in, he scores. Pastrnak, his stick shattered, puck stuck in through it, and now it's in. It's become much steeper, and here's Zacha in, scores.
Still makes you feel good about the Bruins, especially after that loss to the Calgary Flames. Like, okay, good bounce back, good win against one of the best teams in the NHL. But losing Matthew Poitras, while he had his ups and downs due to him being a rookie, it's a big blow. I think very highly of Poitras. I think eventually he'll develop into a good top six center. So now the Bruins find themselves missing a piece in the top nine. Now, you could argue, currently right now, you could be completely fine with the Bruins' current top nine. You have Marchand, Coyle, DeBrusk, JVR, Zacha, Pastrnak, Lauko, Geekie, and Frederick. Well, I would probably switch Heinen with Lauko because Heinen, he's played pretty damn well this season. He's definitely exceeded my expectations. Should the Bruins make a trade? The problem with the Boston Bruins currently is we have zero, and I pretty much zero cap space, $61,000 in cap space. So who is out there for the Bruins to make a trade to make something work? Now, this might not be really a popular opinion, and I could understand why. But I look at all the struggling teams, and someone that does come to mind, I'm not sure how they could possibly make it work with the cap, would be Claude Giroux. Now, he's making $6.5 million against the cap. He can play right wing and center. He can fill in pretty nicely in a top six role still. A very good playmaker. Brings out the best in his line mates generally. That would be a great get, but you would have to have Ottawa retain half of his salary, and the Bruins would have to move out a piece like a guy like Forbort or someone like that. That does carry some substantial cap. So it's not a clean transition, and with a lot of the pieces you can look around the league, it's kind of similar, right? Some Bruins fans have talked about Boone Jenner, contract's only until 2026. He's making $3.75 million. Maybe you get the Blue Jackets with a prospect or some capital to retain half. I mean, he could maybe be a nice addition here in the top six, top nine. Do I think it makes it very difficult for the Bruins to trade due to their current cap restrictions? Absolutely. You look at the Chicago Blackhawks. I look at a guy like Jason Dickinson, who's having a very good year. 51 games played, 15 goals, 10 assists for 25 points, plus 8 on a Chicago Blackhawks team that it's very young and they're going to improve as time goes on. Maybe that's a guy you can look at. He's only making $2.65 million. Could you maybe acquire a guy like that whose contract expires in 2025? But the big thing that a lot of people are very attracted to is Frankie Vatrano. All-star bid. He's having a really good year. 50 games played, 22 goals, 14 assists for 36 points. And I'm hoping Frankie hits the 30-goal plateau and maybe more, 35-plus goals. That would be amazing for him. He's a local kid. He came up into the NHL in the Bruins system, so it'd be kind of a cool full-circle story. But again, even if you get the Ducks to retain half, you would still have to move a piece out to have it make sense. I look at the Bruins as this, right? They're not going to be able to make any crazy move. Now, some Bruins fans were upset that they didn't trade for a guy like Lindholm, right? Or even a guy like Sean Monahan. Now, Monahan was a little different. The Habs are generally not really going to trade with the Bruins just due to the history there. Very unusual for an interdivision trade to happen to help what you consider a rival. I think the pieces that are going to have to come in are going to have to be cheap, and they're going to have to be kind of nothing too sexy, quote unquote. They're going to be solid players if they do make a acquisition, but they're not going to blow your doors down. And to me, the upper echelon of a player you could get is maybe a guy like Claude Giroux, but he's a hometown kid from Ottawa. I don't really see him leaving that situation. I just don't, unless he really does want to have the chance to win a Stanley Cup. When I look at it, I do think probably a guy like Dickinson, a guy like Vatrano, probably more accessible I think those would probably be more likely targets you could probably get and actually acquire. And when I'm looking at the Bruins, I mean, I think if they didn't make any addition, do I think they're fine? Yes. There's still some question marks up front, but Charlie Coyle, hats off to him, has been amazing and has blown my expectations out of the water. He has. 45 points, 51 games played. He is really a very good number one center right now for the Bruins. It has been fantastic to watch. Nebraska's has been better recently. But I think if you could just add another good top six piece, the Bruins just solidify themselves just a little bit more. And I think, personally, if you could get a center in that deal, and Zacha, I think, has done pretty well in that second-line center role, but if you could move Zacha to the wing, I think you get more offense out of him. Zacha or Pastrnak with another center, I think it just adds a little bit more depth to this already damn good Boston Bruins team. We don't have the top end. Well, I mean, Pastrnak. Hold myself there. Pasternak's a superstar level player. We might not have the crazy names that some other teams might have, right? When you look at the Maple Leafs, they have a plethora of talent up front. But with how the Bruins are currently constructed, with a very solid offense, very good defense, and a great goaltending tandem, they are still a threat in the Eastern Conference. Are there other teams that I think are better? Yes. In a 7-game series, there are some question marks about the Bees, and maybe I get proven wrong. But it's still a very good team, and I don't think they need to make a crazy addition to eventually get to that final destination of a Stanley Cup final and potentially a championship. But I'd like to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you think the Bruins need to make a trade? Again, guys, I really want to say thank you for those all really kind and thoughtful comments in the last video. Yeah, it's been a rough go of it. I needed just to take a break. A lot of just blow after blow after blow. And it was difficult. But I really want to say thank you. It means a lot to all the really sweet and heartfelt comments in the last video. I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts down below. What the Bruins should do. Make a trade. Stay pat. I'm Captain Paul. I'll see you in the next one.